Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV. Liverpool have just drew 1-1 with Manchester City away from home. To be honest with you, I'm going to just talk about my emotions leaving that game before I get into anything about what happened in the game, because I feel like this is going to give the fans quite a mixed reaction, the Liverpool fans I'm talking about. And if you're a neutral, let me know what you thought about the game. How did you think it panned out? I will break it down in a sec, but I'm happy about that result. And I'm not trying to say that, like, before the game would have bit your hands off for a draw. Absolutely not. I would have said, no, let's go into the game. I'll take my chances, because I feel like we can beat Manchester City, even with the injuries that we've got, even with the concerns that we've got about our squads and stuff like that, even with the fact that they're picking up more form recently and they're actually getting more points and they're getting more of a style of play. They're fitting more into the season. I think today is a really good result for Liverpool Football Club. It could be much worse when you take into consideration that the way the league is probably going to pan out between now and about January, February is, yes, Southampton are a fantastic team. In fact, I think they could have a great chance of competing for Europe this season. Leicester, same, could compete for Champions League, and a few other teams, Spurs as well. But usually, and I'm just going typically, anything can change. Spurs could have got much better. Don't get me wrong, Harry Kane and Son are looking insane. But usually, you would expect them teams to start to drop around December, January, when more games start to fluctuate into the season. More so than what we're getting already, by the way, because it's already one big fuck up with how many games we've got. I'll take that. In hindsight, you know, when you take into the fact that we've played Chelsea away from home, the fact we played Everton away from home, we've played quite a few good teams, we've even got Arsenal out the way at Anfield, but still, we've played some big sides, and the fact that we're only, third after however many games, do you think Jurgen Klopp cares about first place? If any journalist asks Jurgen Klopp about first place right now, he will tell them to shut the fuck up and go and eat a German sausage, because Jurgen Klopp doesn't think about anything about first. He's focused on the next game, which, by the way, is Leicester, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. But touching on the game itself, the way it went down, very close game. First 10-20 minutes, I feel like Liverpool completely controlled. I thought the first half in general, Liverpool did quite well, but I'll break it down step by step. So, have a few chances. First minute especially, we look quite good. Game kind of neutralised itself, and then Mane is coming in, he's cutting inside, and Kyle Walker takes him down. In my opinion, it's a penalty. Let me know what you think. Obviously, it's soft, but in today's game and age, that's a penalty. It was given. Salah took it. Of course, he never usually misses, and it was a good result. A good result in the penalty. It was a greatly taken penalty. 1-0 up in however many minutes. Good start. City, for the next 5-10 minutes or so, pick up a little bit more, but they're not still perfect. And then, obviously, Gabriel Jesus gets a goal, which wasn't ideal. He got a good header and it was a good finish. And that's one thing I said about Gabriel Jesus going into the game, that even though he hasn't been starting for City too much, he's still very good at goal poaching. He's still a good finisher. He can get into the positions. And if you don't watch him, then he will capitalise. He will get on that mistake. That makes it 1-1, but there was another big, massive incident, and you will see on my live match reaction, which will be posted tomorrow morning, so make sure you're on the channel for that, as well as the player ratings for this game. De Bruyne gets a penalty. Well, actually, I can't remember who it was who actually won the penalty. It was Joe Gomez, handball, that was it. Now, some people are going to debate, was it a penalty, was it not? This is what I think. Overall in football, that should never be a fucking penalty, and I'm not going to rant, but that should not be given as a penalty. A similar incident happened in the Wolves-Leicester game earlier this morning. Don't be given stupid shit like that as a penalty. It's outrageous. They need to adjust the rules, not just for Liverpool. Premier League fans need to voice this, because it will fuck you over one day as well. Thankfully, De Bruyne missed that penalty, and fuck me, I can't believe how he missed it. So far wide, terrible. One of the worst penalties I've seen all season. And, you know, it's funny, mate, because I was even on the radio yesterday, you know, saying Thiago's a better player than De Bruyne, just to spice up a little bit of shit. Let me know if that's a video you'd want me to do, Thiago or De Bruyne, even though, in fact, they're very different players. I'm not going to do that. Back to the point, you'd expect De Bruyne to do better with that penalty, and he didn't. It was shocking. Big breath of fresh air for a Liverpool fan like myself to keep it 1-1. We go into half time, that's all right. And then the second half, it's just all Manchester City. Start to finish, really, they have the control. Not in a way that they dominated, in a way that you would expect City to kind of be outplaying Liverpool. Just held possession, set up right. You know, Pep Guardiola got the team completely correct for the second half. And that's just what you expect when you've got two giants in Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola going at it. I do think, and rightly so, but I do think Manchester City was fearful of Liverpool's counter-attack. Like I say, rightly so, because when you're in them last 5-10 minutes. You do not want to be making any mistakes. But I noticed this because their midfield was quite narrow, and they had kind of like 3 or 4 men in and around our box, and then they'd had about 6 or 7 or 8 men behind the ball. And that was the best approach to take, because they have the players to hit us, we have the players to hit them. But if they've got 2 men or 3 men on every player that we've got forward, then what can we do? We bring on Shaqiri. He adds a little bit to the game. He replaces Firmino. He added a bit more than what I thought Firmino did, but still couldn't quite make the breakthrough. Firmino got 60 minutes today. We played the 4-2-3-1, which is another thing I'll talk about in a sec. But what's happening with Bobby Firmino, boys? I just even think when he's in the positions, there was a chance where he was like close to the edge of the box and he sort of killed the shot. And it's not that I expected him to score it, but you would expect him, at least 17-18 Firmino probably would have done a lot better, even when he's in and around the goal scoring areas. But now I'm noticing he's not even, like, he's running and he's working hard, but he's just not being as effective on and off the ball. In my opinion, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm not trying to shit on him. I don't even think Jota played that well today. The reason why I think we had a few debatable performances, not bad performances, just not as involved, like Jota weren't as involved, Firmino and stuff. I don't think the 4-2-3-1 works, and I understand why we're going with the 4-2-3-1 with the lack of options we have in the midfield. But the reason why I don't want to see us go with it going forward, and believe me, 2 weeks ago I was a big fan of the idea of a 4-2-3-1. But the reason why I don't want to use it going forward is because even though we got a goal early, and actually our first half was the best performance, it usually takes a while for us to settle into the game. And we could kind of see when the game kicked off, it was more a 4-4-2 approach, which I understand offensively, and you have got to adapt, you have got to adjust. So I'm not going to sit here and say Jurgen Klopp did something right and wrong. Listen, I'm not in his position, I haven't got his circumstances. His team is fucked right now. Speaking of fucked, Trent walks off with an injury. Robbo has a little niggle at the end of the game, so we don't know what the situation is there. Hopefully that means they won't be going on international duty, because I'll be absolutely fuming if they do. I don't know why people are still going on international duty. But it's like with Trent, if he's injured, that's huge, because he kind of went off with a calf injury, and it was just the way he was looking at his leg, and he was just like, for fuck's sake. He never even said nothing, but I could see, sort of, I'm not that, look at me, I could see in his head, but like you could kind of just see he was just going, for fuck's sake. Now usually with calf injuries they're not too bad. Usually they'll last about 2 or 3 weeks, at worst about a month. That's just off my knowledge of it. Go and actually look at a scientific website or something to fact check that, but that's what I believe they are. However, we still need to look into it more, and I will keep you updated on that over the next few days on the Redmond roundup. Same with Robbo. We can't lose them players on top of what we've already lost, because people say what they want about Trent, about his defensive attributes, and I think Kyle Walker is a fantastic right back, but I put Trent at number 1 because what he does offensively for this team is just sensational, and there's no better right back in world football that could play for Liverpool than Trent, and maybe that's why I call him the best right back in the world. Fair enough, I'm a fucking Liverpool fan, I'm a Scouser, I can say what I want about Trent. Today he was really good, but going forward we need him in our team, so hopefully he can be back for the Leicester game. I'm happy. I'm very interested to know what you've got to think. Who was your man of the match and stuff? If I had to say a man of the match for Liverpool, I thought there was a few standout performances. You could edge it to Joel Matip, who played absolutely fantastic. Let's just give the centre-backs a bit more credit, because they're coming up against what is a very difficult Manchester City side. And Joe Gomez with another different centre-back partner. Joel Matip just coming back. Man's made out of crisp, so he fucking breaks it any time you hit him. Held well today. The vision was there. You can see that they're looking out for interceptions. They were on it today, and I like to see that. And I even said going into the game, start Joel Matip. Don't start Reece Williams. Don't start Nat Phillips. Start Joel Matip, because you start your best players in your toughest games. Thankfully he started, and I thought he was probably the man of the match. Some people could throw in Mo, some people could throw in Mane, because I thought he added quite a bit to the offensive side of things. I don't think anyone played bad. I just think it was a tough game to try and make a breakthrough in. Again, I'm very interested to know what you've got to think. Going forward, should Liverpool be worried? This is something that Alex asked me on the COP TV before. Go and check that out once you've watched this. And I said, no, why would you be worried after getting a draw against what is the second best team in England? Regardless where they are in the table right now, they are overall the second best team in England. Why is that a bad result? Like, especially with the circumstances we've got in our squad. Like, even our first team getting a point against them, you know, with Thiago, Fabinho, Virgil, is still a good result. But the fact we've done it with injuries, with damage, you know, limitations to our squad is even better. So I'm really happy about that result. And I'm not saying it, like I said earlier in the video, I'm not saying I'm made up but it could have been much worse, and I'd be fuming if we drew, if we lost, but I'm not going to be fuming if we drew with the circumstances that presented us, and De Bruyne could have got another goal in that game. But overall, Shard, I'm going to be doing the player ratings tomorrow, so make sure you're there for that. I think we'll be okay for Leicester. Let's just hope Trent is fit, because he's a big, big, crucial player for that game. Let me know what you think. All of that in the comments down below. Thank you so much for supporting. Redmond Roundup returns tomorrow, so make sure you're on the channel, as well as player ratings, as well as live match reaction coming your way. Uploads. Anyway, see you later, yous. Thank you for watching. Peace out.